Now we'll talk about online marketing. The first and foremost online marketing channel is your very own website. Nowadays, if you don't have a website, people won't take you seriously. So get that website built if you don't already have one. There are a number of free services if you don't want to pay, but know that your website will be so much more versatile and powerful if you own your own domain and you have it set up for hosting. Your website will essentially be the home base for all your online marketing efforts, at least in the sense that most of your online marketing efforts should drive a good bit of traffic back to your website. The blog. The blog is another popular channel for marketing, but it's really only good if you're consistent with it. It's best to update at least monthly, if not more often. Either way, consistency is key. If people are browsing your website and they come across the most recent post that was 2 years old, that doesn't look so good. But blogging isn't a requirement. If you're not good at it, don't feel pressure to do it. You can spend that extra time on other marketing activities. Let's talk about the design of your website. Design is the most crucial element of your website. Now, some people may argue with me, but I stand firmly beside my statement. Your website must be easy to navigate and it can't be cluttered. You also need to have an About Me page with relevant information. Your About page really needs to reflect your personality. Tell a story if you like. Tell what got you started in photography and why you enjoy doing it. How does your style reflect who you are as a person, what your goals are as a photographer? So don't be shy. This page is all about you and your customers really want to know. You should try to make you look like the very best possible version of yourself. So don't worry about coming across as arrogant or ego-driven, unless you are, and then maybe you should just back off a little bit. And I have to say this, please don't use music on your website. If you find it necessary, please don't have it play automatically. And it's the same thing with video. It's one of the most undesirable things that someone can put on the website. Most people don't like it, and those who don't mind it don't really even care if it's not there. It's really more about the audio that comes out unexpectedly. It's a situation where someone will go on the website and their speakers will be all the way up and then this crazy music just starts playing, or even a video with crazy music just starts playing and it's just loud and unnerving. So if you have video and music on your website, do not have it play automatically. Make it to where the customer has to click play. Finally, the last but definitely not least part of your website is your portfolio. Your portfolio should represent only your absolute best work. You don't want a cajillion pictures on your portfolio. You only want about 3 or 4 from each shoot, and then only your best shots from each shoot. Now, if you're a wedding photographer, you'll probably want a series of shoots, each with different types of photos, like the detail shots or the bride and groom ready room shots, or in the family, friends, and all those other typical wedding photos that you would get. In fact, if you're a wedding photographer, it's usually just best to blog these instead. You don't really have to write text if you don't want to. You can get by just by posting the photos and the dates. Just keep the pictures rather small so you can optimize the loading times. If you want to add some text in there, that's fine too. Just make sure it doesn't go overboard and it takes forever to load. Now, if you do multiple styles of photography like weddings and family portraits and newborns and high school seniors, I highly suggest that you get a separate website for each one. That is, unless you live in a smaller town and you're the only photographer there. Now, the reason I say this is that offering too many things can confuse your clients as to what you actually do. And if you're not as strong in one area as you are in another, your weakest work will bring down the perceived quality of your best work. Now, you don't have to get a website for each one, but I would. It's just a suggestion. But in any case, only show your best work. So when you discuss online marketing channels, most people immediately think of Google Ads. And that's a great way to go. In fact, Google is a great way to go whether you're paying for ads or not. You can choose to spend money to rank high for certain keywords, or you can try to optimize your website to rank high for certain keywords organically. And what I mean by that is by not paying for ads, but going through search engine optimization. Or you can use a combination of both. But don't forget about Bing and Yahoo, because while these sites may not have the power of Google, people still use them, so it might be worth your time to explore them. In addition, Google and Bing have local business directories that businesses use to get listed on their websites. It's the same thing with Yelp. Now, there are a number of web directories that you can submit your website to in order to get listed. While most of these directories aren't used as often as Google or Bing, what they do is build backlinks to your website which Google and Bing see as a good thing, and you may see your site rank higher. However, the caution there is that Google and Bing and other search engines are continually changing and improving their formulas for ranking, so you never know what criteria they used for their formulas. So you're kind of on your own there. But you should still consider submitting to these directories because you never know if they will send you targeted traffic. Next up is social media. And I'm not sure I need to explain what this is unless you've been living under a rock for the past decade. If you're unfamiliar with the term, it's where people go on the internet to connect with other people and other businesses. The most obvious example of social media is Facebook. Now, Facebook is a current giant in the social media realm. Facebook has several different ways to connect with your target market. You can start a Facebook page which features your photography business and your photography. So you should think of Facebook as an extension of your website. You can install a like button on your website so people don't leave your page and yet they can still see your posts when they visit Facebook. Now, some people have gone so far as using Facebook as their primary web presence and have ignored setting up a website completely. Now, I don't recommend this because I still think you should have a website. Now, with Facebook, you're not limited to just using pages. You can create ads based on the demographics and other criteria so that ad will only be shown to the specific targeted group of people. Now, this is probably one of the most powerful ways to find your target customer. Most people are on Facebook nowadays, so you can probably find them. Now, if they aren't on Facebook, you may want to include an offline strategy and build a campaign around a combination of Facebook and offline strategies. Again, with Facebook, if you're just looking to increase brand awareness, you can also promote specific posts and have them seen by a wider audience than if you didn't promote it. Facebook is constantly tweaking and improving their advertising methodology, so I think Facebook advertising will only get better from here. Other social media channels include Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and other social media. You can also go the video route and use services like YouTube or Vimeo. If you decide to utilize YouTube in your social media strategy, please avoid monetizing your videos. And by that, I mean don't opt to show advertisements with your video. Your video should only be for your own marketing purposes, so you shouldn't run someone else's ad along your own marketing efforts. Plus, it looks unprofessional. There is a place for that, but it's not your photography business. The key to a successful social media strategy is to pick one or two channels to start out with and then focus on them. Don't overwhelm yourself by attempting to juggle too many at one time. Start out small, and when you've mastered one, you can start learning another. And be consistent with your social media efforts. Similar to a blog, you should be posting regularly. Now, most importantly, you need to stay alert to changing trends within the online space. Social media changes almost on a daily basis. New channels emerge, old channels disappear, and certain demographics switch channels constantly. Kids and teenagers use social media so much differently than adults, and today's hot social media network will be gone tomorrow. So you have to pay attention to these things, and you have to be agile enough to know where and when to switch. So generally speaking, if you follow what the teenagers are doing, it probably won't be too long before the adults are there. But also, many of these channels won't be worth pursuing because chances are they'll be a flash in the pan. The trick is to notice patterns and find the one that will be the one to stick around. And that's easier said than done. But if you're paying attention and you're noticing the patterns, you probably stand a better chance of being there when that happens. Before I conclude this section on social media, I want to give my opinion on services like Groupon and Living Social. While these may be good for businesses that rely on large volume of customers, they usually don't work out very well for photographers. Now, here's how they work. You go to one of these sites to feature a promotion. Let's say you want to offer a 20% discount. So right off the top, you're already out 20% of your possible revenue. But that's not too bad of a sacrifice just to get new customers, especially when it's free to list your business and your promotion. But here's the catch. These companies also require up to 50% commission on all sales. So when it's all said and done, you may actually end up coming out of pocket to use these services. And on top of that, the people who use these services are typically bargain chasers who are looking for cheap service. So I'm not sure if that's the type of person you want to serve. But if you're still considering it, I can't stop you. And finally, I think the most important idea that you should take from this is to test everything that you do. There's no sense in becoming an expert in any channel if it's not bringing in clients. You have to know what's working and what's not. Everything should be trackable, from your offline marketing to your online marketing. You should know exactly how you're acquiring each and every customer you get. You should be able to analyze each source to determine if your message is working or not, whether specific words in your messages are working or not, whether offers are working, whether promotions are working, everything. If you want to optimize your marketing and make your marketing dollars go farther for a greater return on investment so that you can get more customers, testing should be one of your main marketing activities.